Okay, yeah, wakey YCRC. These are little drones you can get off eBay. I believe this one's called the YCRC A6 Pro. You probably see them on eBay at the moment, about £40 or so. £40. Well, what I found is that after flying them for a while, these motors stop working. It's either be that motor or it'd be that motor. One of these motors will stop working eventually, and once one motor goes down, you can't fly them. But for some reason, the motors in these don't last that long. You know, about an hour or two, and they're gone. Like, so I've gone through one of these already, as you can see. That's the one I bought about 2 days ago, and I've been flying it for about maybe an hour and a half. And this motor's gone down today. So this was the previous one. As you can see, I've taken it apart, and because I've got the old motors off the old one, like when this old one broke, it was that motor that went. So, you know, I knew that motor was broken. But when I got this new one, you know, because I bought this one to start with, and the motor broke in it, so it was unflyable, so I thought I'd go and buy a new one. I bought this new one, and the same thing happened to this new one. The motor broke in it, but I thought, oh god, I got the old one. So I was lucky really, because that, where that one is there, I believe it's that side. It could possibly be that side, I'm not too sure which one. But when this motor went, I've already had one motor go in this one, and I swapped it yesterday. And I've swapped the motor yesterday, and I managed to get this flying again with one of the motors off this old one. So I know these two back motors are gone now on this one, so you know they're probably dead. But I know that these two motors never broke, so that's a good motor. And one of these has gone down. I'll show you what I mean if I can. I'll switch it on, and I'll wire it up. One moment, give me a moment. Okay, so I'm going to fire up the control. I powered it up, push forward, push backwards, got it wired up. Now I'm going to sort of start it up. As you can see, the three motors, God, it looks like the back motor's gone on it as well. So you can see, it looks like the two motors, that motor's going and that motor's going. And once they're gone like that, they're gone, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. So I'll do it again. See, and if you put a bit more power, coming back down. You see the motor's gone? Okay. I'll switch power off there. I'll switch power off there. I'll start a new video because I don't want them too long. Okay, yeah, so I got plenty of battery power there, lots of power there, but that motor's gone on this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this is the old broken one, taking apart that motor, but I know this is a good motor, so I'm going to take this motor off this one onto this motor. Quite simple to do actually. You know, if you look at these, as if you can see them, you know, they just simply pull off the arms there like that, and then they're on just like a pull socket. You know, they just pull off there. I don't know if I got that right. It was in camera because I'm so busy looking at this, but they just pull out on the little connectors. So you got the little connector, and they just push back in onto the board. So they're quite easy to change. You know, you just push them in like that, make sure they're the right way around, and push them in and out. I'm sure I got that the right way. No, I haven't. That was the right way there. Okay, so just push in and off like that off the board. So I'm going to take that this new one apart that has developed a problem with this motor. I'm going to swap it with this one. Okay. Alright, so I've got like a little green tray to put the nuts and bolts in, put the bolts in. So, you know, I know on this one it's got little screws. A little screw in there, a little screw in there, a little screw in there, and there and there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put my little screwdriver in, and I'm going to undo all these, okay? So I'm going to stop the video here, and I'll let you know once I've undone all these screws, just like that. I mean, just in case you really want me to see undoing the screws. So yeah, undoing the screw there like that. I'm going to go over here and do the same on this screw. So there's a few screws, you can see what I'm doing. I'm undoing the screws so I can take this plastic shell off, yeah. So I'm just undoing those screws so I can take the cover off. Okay, just in case you want me to see cracking the plastic shell off, but I would like to be more careful because the screws can fall out. So I turn it upside down. There might be some screws fall out. You can hear the screws falling out. There you go. I hope you managed to see that, but I got the top off there. So once it's at that sort of thing, you know, you can leave it like that and sort of get it to that point. Okay, yeah, so we've got the case off now. There's the case. There's a good motor off the old one. We bought this new one and it's done the same thing. I say this is the third motor that I've gone through now. This will be the third motor I swap. So I'm going to swap this over now. As I say, all you do is you know, try and get it off there and then take it out of the little piece like that. And then, you know, you got that there. That's the new. That's the old one, sort of new one. I'm hoping this is a good motor, so I'm going to put it, connect it here at this point. Okay, I'm fairly certain that's connected at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it on there, and at this point, while it's taken apart, I'm going to press the button, see if I still got a power there. So the power's just still there. So I've just got the power on. Just connect it up and see if this is working or not. There we go, 4 motors working. Got the 4 motors working there, so I'm pretty sure they're going to work good. So that's the 4 motors working, so switch that off. Got 4 motors working there, so I'm going to put the cover back on there. So yeah, when you're putting the cover back on, you know, make sure the wires are out of the way and everything's sort of, you know, going to go back easy, and just sort of leave it like that. Get the plastic piece and sort of snap it into place, you know. Make sure it's got no cable sticking out the sides. No cable sitting outside. Make sure everything's still okay. It's snapping okay. That one seems to have gone good. Let's switch the power off there. Switch power off there. So now I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the screws back in. And if you know, I don't think you'll want me to see putting the screws back in, but yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the screws back in and then I'm going to tighten them up. Okay. Okay, yeah, put the screws in, you know, la-di-da, blah blah blah. Put the screws in. Yeah, done that. So there it is, back together, and we'll see if it's got a good stable flight. Okay, here we go, switching the power on the controller, forward and backwards. Okay, we have power, let's lift off. And that's basically it, you know, fixing a motor on one of these little drones. So if you've got an old model like I have with a broken one there just on the top of the trampoline, you know, you get a motor go down. I say they only last about 2 hours. You know, so some of the motors might last about 4 hours, but on this particular drone, I've had 2 of them now, and I've had 3 motors gone down. 1 went down on the first one, and 2 have gone down on this new one. Luckily I had the old drone to be able to replace the motors from the old drone, because only 1 motor went down on the first drone that I had, but it put me out of action completely. So when I bought the new one, I just used the new one, but when I was using the new one, a motor went down on it, so I was able to use the motor off the old one. And I say I've replaced 2 motors on this one so far, so hopefully, I don't know, maybe another 2 more hours flying, the motors will probably go. But what I'm finding is on this particular drone, the motors are lasting about 2 hours and they burn out. Okay, that's replacing a little motor on a little drone.